Have you been injured at no fault of your own? The Masters Law Firm is on your side and here to help you in your time of need. With decades of experience, our team understands the toll that injuries take on victims and their families, offering both legal expertise and unwavering support. From car accidents to complex injury cases across West Virginia, we've got you covered. Visit our website at themasterslawfirm.com or call us today at 304-342-3106 for a free consultation. Your journey to recovery starts with us.
The Touchdown City Show is presented by Masters Law Firm, West Virginia's personal injury lawyers. Coming to you from the Stone Church Studio in St. Albans, West Virginia. This is the Touchdown City Show.
Thanks for downloading this week's episode of the Touchdown City Show presented by the Masters Law Firm, West Virginia's injury law firm. I'm Anthony Lewis in the Stone Church Studio today on this rainy and windy Sunday with Matt Durrett, Derek Bailey, and the GOAT, Avon Coburn, as we are licking our wounds, as it was not a pleasant trip to Disney on Saturday for the Mountaineers as UCF knocked off the Mountaineers 45 to, was it 13, I believe?
A lot to a little.
A lot to
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. You know, first of all, that was the first time that UCF beat West Virginia. Did you go down? You didn't go down in 03. You were gone.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Because we went down in 03, then they came in 04. I feel like we played them, well, I guess since being in the Big 12. But not a huge, extensive history with the Knights. But now 4-1.
Yeah, they play well. I mean, they play well. That quarterback they had was pretty. I liked the way he played. You know, for the most part. But that was tough, man. It was a tough battle. And you know, my counterpart over there that said we were going to lose, and he threw us off. I think we had hope until you said what you did. Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. I didn't throw anybody off.
Let's start with the West Virginia defense. We've seen, and there are, I don't want to say excuses, but there are reasons. There's reasons for everything. But there's reasons. No, these aren't. I'm not making excuses, but there are reasons for what we're starting to see. But West Virginia's defense yesterday gave up drives of 97, 92, and 85. There is no excuse.
Not for that.
For that, when you pin a team back on the punt, you're pinning guys back and making them go the full length of the field. And giving up chunk plays the way they were. I'm just confused on why the sudden decline, because we're talking about a defense. Now, I don't want to say the defense gave up these numbers because there are also poor interceptions, turnovers, and even kick returns and things like that in here. But West Virginia as a whole has gave up 45, 38, 48, and 41 in the last four outings. Again, some of those are turnovers, kick returns, that type of thing. But still, that's just a ton of points to be given up. And, early in the season, we were in here talking about the defense is keeping this team in games. And now it's, they did make an adjustment after they gave up the quick 14, and then they got back in it. But, man, I mean, the defense is not looking good right now.
Defense is struggling. I mean, like you said, giving up 92, 95. I mean, they were on the 2-yard line. And I'm like, how did the first play of the game, he went like 45? I said, I'm like, man, this doesn't look well when the strongest part of our team is not playing well on the first snap of the game. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So, I mean, obviously it's missed assignments. I mean, it's people in the wrong gaps, people not filling when they're supposed to fill, and they on scholarship too. I was always told they on scholarship too, so they're gonna make some plays, but it's bad, man. It's bad. But then, like you said, they come back and play well, get back into it, and then it just goes to hell in the handbasket.
You had a couple interceptions, so they've done a decent job of forcing some turnovers, but they've regressed. They've regressed big time since that Pitt game. looking back at the Pitt game, that might be the biggest upset all season for anybody in college football. West Virginia beating them. I don't know how that happened, but overall the defense is just bad defense. I don't know. I mean, there's blown assignments, blown coverages. It's a combination of a ton of different things. And you can't allow, like we were blaming the offense earlier in the season for giving up, sometimes like they put them in a bad spot or they're on the field the whole time. There's no excuse for that now. Like West Virginia did a decent job moving the ball against Central Florida. And they didn't have a huge, time of possession or whatever. Well, they probably did because Central Florida, it felt like it was scoring in 2 plays. But either way, like you can't blame the offense for saying, "Oh, they're on the field too long this week." I mean, like there's no excuses anymore. Yeah. The team is not getting better, and defensively they're getting worse. I don't know the answers moving forward, but it's seriously looking like it's going to be 2.
Fire Rich Rod, that's what it is. Fire Rich Rod.
It's seriously looking like it's going to be 2-10. And it's the worst West Virginia team I've ever seen by miles and miles. I feel like the 0-1 team had stars. Like the 0-1 team back, Avon was on the 0-1 team. There's not one player on the, I know White's out and he's a great player and he would help. But I don't think even with White, West Virginia wins these games.
Well, it's not just White. You got White and Edwards are both out. But the good thing is I think a defensive fix is easier than an offensive fix. And I think the main glaring problem right now is we don't have a quarterback. I mean, we can't – Wilkins, you put him in, you can't have him carrying the ball 23 times. He's not big enough to absorb that kind of punishment. And when he's under center or in the shotgun, he's looking to run. We don't have a threat to throw the ball downfield.
But the thing is, though, is like read those numbers off again, Anthony, in the Big 12 games.
As far as points
given up.
Oh, you're talking about giving up 45, 38, 48, and 41.
It's awful. But what I'm saying is I think it's easier to fix a defense than it is to find someone
to play quarterback
to be your leader as a quarterback.
That's fair.
Defensively, Jackson, the quarterback from UCF, he was 23 of 34, 277 yards, 2 touchdowns, and those were wide open touchdowns.
Fourth down conversions. Fourth down conversions. They were 2 of 4 on fourth down. 7 of 20 on 3rd and 4th down for Central Florida. That's actually a good job by WVU.
Yeah, the defense got him in position on 4th down, but gave up 2 huge plays.
It's like they rushed 3 guys on passing downs, and it just gives the dude whoever's quarterbacking long enough they can stand back there until somebody comes open and then make the play. I don't know. It's bad.
They then turned around and made 2 stops on 4th down, which helped West Virginia get back into the game. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, again, I've got it highlighted on my notes here. Poor tackling. I'm not skipping. You're not skipping. I'm just repeating it. Poor tackling. And then not consistently out of position. West Virginia, on paper, is one of the quickest teams to the ball. But teams have the most yards after carry against West Virginia. We're just not tackling guys. And that's not something you teach. This is just something that, this isn't a let's coach them up. You are what you are at this point. So
But you say that, and hard edge is hard edge is effort. Hard edge is effort. So to me, I don't see quit out there. I really don't. I just don't see
the talent level is very low.
I mean, but at the same time, it's like you got an opportunity. I don't understand how you get out there and you lay an egg the way you lay an egg.
The thing too that's bothersome is this is off of a bye week. There were guys streaking wide open. It felt like Central Florida ran the one pass play where they it's not a wheel route, but like they had like the guy run out and they completed it every time for huge yardage. It feels like. And that cannot that cannot happen. You can't break down like in the last week, 2 weeks going into the game, it feels like the team didn't get any better. It felt like there was no improvement, and that's what's bothersome more than anything. Is it just doesn't feel like anybody's getting better on the team, and that's where I have an issue.
Well,
and I know
it doesn't help that the worst case scenario for West Virginia ever. If we sat here episode 1 and said, well, The ceiling for West Virginia is 7-8 wins, right? Then if you looked and said, what's worst case scenario for West Virginia? I'd say, well, your top 2 quarterbacks, your top 2 running backs, your starting wide receiver, all out for the season.
Yeah.
And your offensive line is not very good. So worst case scenario is happening.
I mean, we that was something I wanted to bring up. Like, quarterbacking in football is the most important product that you can put out there because it gives you hope. That position gives you hope as a team, saying, okay, I know this guy, he can make a play. I know he can get us in a position to make. You have no hope when you don't have a quarterback. Like, there's no opportunities for you to pull anything out. Like, I mean, unless your defense is giving up blanks, and ours is not doing it. So when you have a quarterback duo that is not very good at all, you have no hope as a team. You're like, man,
I don't think not very good's the. I think they're just inexperienced. You're talking about a redshirt freshman and a true freshman. I think the skill sets are there.
Well, you say that, but BYU has a redshirt freshman.
But look what they have around them.
I mean, but at the same time,
you would not touch 1,000 yards in this offense.
Hey, I think
I'm gonna read some rushing stats here, and this would just insert Avon Coburn into 50.
The offensive line. The offensive line is so bad. I don't think it matters who West Virginia put back there.
Right.
My question's this, and this is something I want to talk to you guys about. How come they're not? They are rotating everybody and their brother in there at quarterback. I thought I saw Rashid trot out there. Right? Everybody's been in different positions. They're putting in young guys at quarterback. They're giving everybody a shot. They're giving them field study. The same 5 bozos keep running out there for this on the offensive line. The same 5 guys. They're not giving any of these young guys a shot to play, and I have a problem with that. And because of mostly things I'm getting via text message about Jack Bicknell, there's some I'm hearing, and these are just people texting me, different things. I'm hearing there's maybe some issues there, but at the same time, this guy, Bicknell's got a long list of resume. He's been at Wisconsin, multiple teams in the NFL, Ole Miss. I mean, he's been all over the place. So that means either 2 things. He's got a lot of experience
or a lot of friends,
or nobody wants him around.
Or he has a lot of friends that is going to keep picking him up.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the guy that Wisconsin was so excited to get rid of. If I'm not mistaken, I think he is the guy that they all in Madison were just thrilled when he left.
So my question is, do they not have anybody else to try outside of these 5 guys?
That's what I don't understand. You're throwing in, like, you throw in Fox over the weekend. You give Fox a start, and that's fine because whatever. But why don't you throw in somebody new on the offensive line? Like I'm just saying.
Let's get some film on these kids.
Throw something out. Could it be any worse? It can't be any worse. I mean, if it's worse, then we're in big trouble moving forward.
In my mind, if you're not seeing any changes there, that means that's the best 5 they have to go with, right? Which is very worrisome. And they're not going to come out and say that, I don't think. I think that's just one of those things you have to be common sense, put 2 and 2 together. You're seeing him rotate everybody everywhere else except for these guys. So that must mean that Monday through Thursday, the other guys behind them aren't showing anything that makes them any better.
Now,
right?
And also, too, I do fully understand on the offensive line that some guys just aren't ready physically. Mm-hmm. That's not a position most guys – it's very rare that a freshman gets to come in and play a lot. I mean, we had Zach Frazier, but –
he's an anomaly.
He is a freak show. It doesn't happen all the time. And I get it. There might be guys that they're looking at like, well, next year these guys will be ready. But let's go ahead and get some film on them. Let's do something up front.
I think to that train of thought, I think once you see, I mean, I don't know what you're holding out hope for now. If you're coaching that team, like it's almost cemented, you're going to have a losing year. This is what it's going to be. So I think now it's just when does that time come that you start throwing the other 5 on the front line and seeing what they got.
Yeah, I know.
You got nothing to lose.
It's also a safety issue too. I mean, because
very true.
That can those guys up front can really get somebody hurt if they don't. When you got 3 guys going this way, 2 going the other way, somebody can get hurt. So they might be the most together. So that's a big reason why I don't like a whole lot of offensive line change. If they're bad, let them all be bad together. At least we know they're all going to be bad doing the same thing.
Somebody's going to get murdered.
Right. I mean, because I mean, I've been around offensive lines where they just were bad, and the quarterback was just getting. I'm like, I'm not even getting out. I'm making sure that at least somebody on my side don't kill you.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough to put in a new guy in where again, that's where the game is won and lost, and that's where you could be most physical. You have to be the most physical in that position, and when you're dropping back to pass, 30 times. Good luck. Good luck for.
I think 8 sacks. 8 sacks is what Central Florida had.
I thought I saw 7, but
Seven,
seven
or eight. It was way up there. And though we're sitting here harping on it too. And I still think we've said this before. There are plays to be made that they're just not making. The very first play of the game should have been a touchdown.
Yeah, very true.
I mean, they drew a pass interference, but the very first play should have been a touchdown.
Well, later in the show, we're going to talk a little bit about all the coaching changes that are happening with the firings and that type of thing. But I'm looking down south to Tallahassee, and I will just say this. There's a good chance my man Herb Hand might be available next year.
I can't.
He might be. I'm just saying he might be available. Not be back. Just might be available if that staff at Florida State is not.
I can't imagine that staff's back at Florida State next year.
Well, I'm just saying Herb
Yeah,
Hand
I
may
know, I'm
be
just
available next year for West Virginia.
Herb was it
If
tight
needed.
ends. I mean, he's an offensive line coach now. I mean, I don't know him. I mean, I know that's what he's been doing for the last couple of years. I mean, I'm just so indebted to Trickett. Like, I know he's not coming back, but if we can, because just the way he thought, he had those guys, and we didn't have the best offensive line. Like, they wasn't the biggest, but they were in sync. We all knew what they were doing. And, I mean, they let a 4.6 run for 5,000 yards. Like, I mean, 1,700 one year, 1,200 the next year. I mean, or
It was
1,200.
poetry in motion.
Right. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy that this guy had that line doing what they were doing.
Do you think he coached? Do you think he was a better coach? Like he could look at his 5, see what their weaknesses were, and then model what you guys are doing around their strengths?
Yes and no. I think because him and Rich worked together before, so they understood the dynamic of what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
And then he saw the type of runner that we had. Like, I wasn't an outside runner.
You're an inside.
I was an
north-south.
inside north-south one-cut guy. So with me, it was okay. Make sure you because I mean he was so smart. Like when we lost games, he would tell us we're gonna lose the game. He was like, "You guys are practicing like trash. Like, y'all gonna lose this game." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? We out here killing it." And we would lose the game because he saw. So to answer your question, yes, he saw what we had, and he would adapt the style of backs that we had. Because Slayton was more of an outside guy. Like, he was an outside, but again, he was an inside one-cut guy, but he was an outside guy. So if you watch his play, it was more a stretch. It was a whole, like, mine was stretch, but it was an inside stretch. It was, we're not going too far out. We're just going to go to get them, and then once I see the lane, I'm going to put my foot in the ground and go.
You're stretching to like the C. Slayton could stretch it out to like the D, the E.
Yeah, he's going wider. Yeah,
I wonder if it's a situation where it's not necessarily. I mean, this coach doesn't understand their strengths and weaknesses, or they're not preparing for it. We're not in the room. I'm as confused as you guys about why there's been no changes to the line, because the line's been bad from go.
And the disappointing part is that's what we thought before the season started would be one of the biggest jumps of improvement from the previous years. You would think it would be better. You would think they would be more physical. You think they would be, but they're unfortunately not.
I think the way I heard Rich talking early in the season, they were maxing these guys out. If you ever listen to him, he just kind of concedes, yeah, we're just not getting the push we need up front. He's probably said that if he had a nickel for every time he said that this year, he'd be retired already. So let me ask you guys this. What'd you guys think of them willing Scotty Fox out first series?
I was shocked on that. I mean, to me, I thought Khalil played well enough to get another start, because you're trying to build something. But what that told me was, hey, we're just going to try anybody. And looking at the game, I'm like, I could see why they put Scotty Fox in there, because he seemed like he was a much better passer than Wilkinson was.
I think it's just he's trying everything, and he's getting stuff to see who's going to be there next year and who's not going to be there next year, who can help win next year. I don't even think he's worried about this year anymore. I think he's trying to look towards the future, and I think he's trying to give both of those guys kind of an open audition moving to next year.
I think it's just one of those things where Fox is your better passer. So if your attack at UCF is going to be, you want to try to get pass heavy, you start him. Otherwise, you're going to keep Khalil Wilkins back there and let him do his thing. But it's not hard to know that when Wilkins is back there, he's probably going to look to run some sort of draw or a quick pass. So if we know that, we're picking up on that at home. I would hope that any Division I collegiate coach would know what's coming. I think you're just going to get a mixed bag the rest of the year until they find a hot hand. Unfortunately, I don't think either hand's going to ever be on fire.
Yeah, you're dealing with a redshirt freshman, true freshman. Wilkins finished today 5 of 10 passing, 32 yards, rushed the ball 15 times, 48 yards for a touchdown. The rushing game, the running backs, now White's out for the season. He's been out since game 2. Edwards is now out for the season. You guys saw that was announced. Actually, I don't know. That's kind of an odd one for me.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. I'm just not
growing.
I thought they said something wrong with his hip. I thought it was a hip. I don't know.
I just
know he's injured.
So now we're down to Sincere Bowers and Dior Hubbard. Avon, what do you like about these two guys? Do you like anything about these two guys?
Yeah, I do. I mean, they both, to me, they both have quick twitch. I think that is their biggest assets, is that they're very quick twitch. They have a I mean, I haven't seen enough on them to say, well, they can read it very well, but I know they have a quick twitch. I don't know how strong they are. I don't know how. I mean, because again, they're not getting a whole lot of help. You know what I mean? It's they're not in the second level.
2 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah, they're not able to get to that second level to even show that they can make a move or make somebody miss, or because it's like I haven't seen enough from these guys. And I'll go back and watch it a little bit. I mean, I was just so disgusted watching that game yesterday. I swear I turned it off twice. I was like, I'm not watching this. And I was like, all right, I got to go back and watch.
I think I went and took a nap about the end of the third.
I was so upset at that game, man. It just, I couldn't watch it. I would turn it off, and I'm like, oh, we scored a touchdown. Let me go back and see what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I was just so upset watching this game. It ruins my day, and I, because I care, and I'm like, Rich, I expect more. So, but thinking about the backs, I mean, they both have quick twitch. I mean, they're smaller guys, so I'm a little bit more biased towards them. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, their offensive line is not helping them at all.
No. Crazy time in college football. We are watching a record number of coaches get fired. Billy Napier just fired at Florida today. Let me ask you guys this. Are fans and donors unrealistic? And here's why I say this.
Yes.
Like Marcus Freeman, they started off 0-2 at Notre Dame. Instantly, I would hear people just in passing, and of course Twitter's the worst, but just in passing, they're going to fire this guy. They're going to fire him because they're 0-2, right? They lost to number 2 Miami, and number 4 Texas A&M, who's by a combined of 4 points, right? So, one, are the fans and the donors just unrealistic? I mean, there's only so many teams that can be perfect and win every game. So if you start off 0-2, for me, it's not a reason to start screaming about firing a guy. I don't care how much they're paying him, because somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. But starting off 0-2, and now they're on a roll. But I just think it's just my opinion. But I want to get your opinions. Are fans and donors just unrealistic when it comes to coaches and the way we're doing this thing right now?
I mean, for me, I would say yes, because I'm one of those unrealistic. I mean, I'm expecting to go undefeated this year. That was my expectation for us. And you laughing, but I'm dead serious. I'm like, he went and put together his roster that he wanted. And now when he doesn't,
I don't think he wanted that.
Now,
you keep saying that.
Let's stop right there. He put together the roster that was available to him at the time, which at the time he's picking the portal, he's at A to Z outlets finding the on sale, the leftovers that you've shipped to TJ Maxx.
True. But out of those leftovers, he picked them. He picked them. So
it's his roster.
It's his roster. It's not. So it's different than what he had when he came and got the job the first time. He can go get whoever he wanted to play with. Hold. So being unrealistic, and when there's so much more money involved, it heightens those expectations because hey, you have X amount of millions of dollars to go find a right player. Don't tell me you can't win. Like it's not the same. So when you say
somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose.
You're right, but I don't want to lose. Like if you have X amount of dollars to go do it, and I wish I was one of those donors that could be like, here's $5 million. Go get me.
But does it not create instability within programs when you're just turning the doors around every 3 years?
That's where the college football has to come up with a different way of doing things because instability is what this is right now. People are leaving after a year. So the expectations are so much higher because there's so much more money involved.
That's the thing with me. Everybody keeps preaching stability. Look, it doesn't matter about your head coach. It's can that coach build a roster?
That's it.
Kirk Cignetti's built a roster 2 years in a row now at Indiana that's going to a college football playoff. That's what fans around the country see.
They see one out of 130
hang on,
teams.
Hang on,
That's it, though.
Hang on,
That's ridiculous. Go ahead.
A Florida fan, a Florida State fan, a Penn State fan, Oregon, Michigan, it doesn't matter. Any of those programs are going to look at Kirk Cignetti and they're going to say, there is no reason why the University of Michigan, the University of Florida, there is no reason why Indiana should be that much better than us. I don't care if our coach has only been here 1 year or 10. He needs to go. He is telling us, I need X, and we are providing that amount of money. He is picking the players and bring them in here and can't win. That's bullcrap. You've got to win. You've got to produce. They've turned it into pro football, and pro football coaches get fired after 5 and 6 games. That's going to start happening more and more. These coaches... And, okay, does anybody feel sorry for Jimbo Fisher? Now, I love Jimbo. He's a West Virginia guy. But does anybody feel sorry for him? He gets a $76 million buyout.
I'm not asking if anybody feels
I'm
sorry
just
for
saying.
him. But look what they did. They've created instability at Florida State.
They've also created it at Texas A&M then, in your opinion. Where's Texas A&M right now?
Yeah, they're 5.
But they're losing. It doesn't always happen like that. That's a deal. Look at what Nebraska did twice.
Well, but that's
instability. It doesn't always work out.
That's a different time. Now Jimbo's more recent. Jimbo's not a different time. This is a new era. We're in a new era.
Well, okay, I misspoke because I said Florida State when he left. That created the instability of Florida State.
But I'm talking about Texas A&M fired him, and now they're in the top 5.
Right.
So, Indiana made a move. They're in the top 5. All these schools that have made these moves, you can say it's instability, but like the fact of the matter is your whole roster it's unstable every year because guys leave. Anybody can go anywhere now. You have to have dudes on the coaching staff that can construct a roster from the transfer portal and high school recruits to compete year in and year out.
To answer your original question, fan bases and donors, yes, they're all off their rockers and probably should be on some meds or something to lower their expectations and their thoughts. But at the same time, when you look at like a James Franklin situation at Penn State, Big Game James is the nickname he's given. He's been there for how many years? Yeah, they went to the Fiesta, the Rose, they've been in the playoffs, they've done all these great things. And that's great. But with doing all those great things comes the expectation that at some point we're going to get to the top. And when you continue to get to the point where you're about to ride that wave and crest into the top, but you can never get over the hump, then it becomes a problem. You become a running joke. We can't beat top 10 teams. We can't do this. We can't do that. Penn State's 3-1 starting the year. They're sitting in the top 5. They lose 3 straight. He gets canned. He gets $45 million. Who are you going to go get? I think it's a bad move by Penn State to do that, but that's your right. You think you can find somebody who can do it better, go find it.
Yeah, he's 104 and 45. They won the Fiesta, the Cotton, the Rose, and the Fiesta.
It's wild to think. And as far as donors and boosters, Chubby's team is the best example of that. You got Portnoy money. You got the second highest paid man in the world. They went and they got themselves a quarterback. What's Michigan's record?
They're 5-2.
Okay, so the expectations, they're being met, but at the same time, 5-2 for a fan of Michigan
is not good enough.
It's not good enough. You should be undefeated. We paid you. I don't care that you're 18 years old, Bryce. I paid you
$4 million a year.
$10 million. No, it's like $10 million. I paid you $10 million. I expect you to come in here, my team to go undefeated, and you to play like an absolute stud week in and week out. Expectations now, when you get this level of money involved, expectations become crazy and just unfulfillable.
And there's also the other factor that I look at. It's not that teams lose games. It's the fashion in which the teams lose. As a Michigan fan, Michigan's played Oklahoma and USC on the road. Both games, they were very unprepared. They looked awful. They looked like they didn't even belong on the field with Southern California. And that matters. Like the route, if Michigan goes on and wins and goes 9-3 and they lose to Ohio State at the end and they're competitive, I think most of their fan base will be like, okay, I can take that because 9-3, they stayed in the playoff talk. They had a freshman quarterback starting. They're one of the youngest teams in the country. That's fine. But these teams that like are paying out the like Ryan Day. If Ohio State doesn't win the national championship last year, is Ryan Day the head coach at Ohio State right now? And think about his record at Ohio State.
It goes back to my original question: are they being unrealistic?
I don't think you're being fans. Listen, everything's going to be unrealistic, but at the same time, the realistic thing of Ohio State is every single year, your national championship or bust. You're signing up for that, making $10 million a year. Your rear end's in the hot seat.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
Nick Saban didn't win a national championship every year.
Yeah, but he won 7 of them, didn't he?
But he didn't win it every year.
And when he lost, he heard about it.
They were like, get him out of here.
Get him out of here. That's
Well,
right. That's like
back to my original
here.
point. The fans and you two are unrealistic.
I am not unrealistic.
What you're saying
expectation.
is unrealistic.
What you're saying is unrealistic, but the thing is
Okay.
you have to win. I don't care who it is. You have to be able to win when people are giving their money. I'm telling you, because they turned it into the NFL. If this were 30 years ago, it's very unrealistic. Nobody won it 30 years ago every year. Nebraska had a great program, but it's just crazy.
All right, let me ask you guys this: would you leave a job that has flexibility, i.e., Cincinnati, West Virginia, programs that have flexibility? I'm looking at Arizona State right now. I'm even looking at Nebraska with Matt Rule. So I'm asking you guys: would you leave a job that has flexibility? That 9-3, is good enough, or to go to a school that doesn't have. If 9-3 is not good enough, would you leave those jobs?
If I'm a coach right now, there are a handful of jobs that everyone wants, but I would find them undesirable. I don't want to be at Ohio State. I don't want to be at Penn State. I don't want to be at USC. I don't want to be at Texas. I don't want to be at LSU, and I'm probably not going to want to take either of the Florida jobs because when you take that job, the expectations leveled on you are so high, and you're going to be expected to hit them so fast that I think you're already coming in back against the wall, right? They're not going to give you any time to make this program yours and build and compile, wins and moving forward and getting your program better. You're going to be expected to do it right away at those places because that's the expectations they have from what they've done in the past. Florida State is going to be, we should never be outside the top 25. We should always be competing for an ACC title. We should always be in the playoffs. Penn State we should always be in the playoffs. You got to beat Ohio State. You got to beat Michigan. I think the expectations leveled on some of these guys are so high and so unrealistic that you're putting them behind the 8 ball before they even walk into the office and make it theirs.
Well, what I'm asking you, though, is if you are in a position, if you're Matt Rule, for instance,
staying at Nebraska.
or if you are, any of these coaches, I'm looking at like Jeff Brom at Louisville now. These guys, are you leaving Louisville?
Why would you stay at Nebraska?
Because I'm going to take the offers that I have at these other schools. If I'm Matt Rule and Penn State calls me, I'm going to go do that interview.
Has called him. Right?
I'm going to go, okay, well, I'm going to go do that interview. And if it's good, Penn State's going to offer me X amount. I'm going to go to Nebraska and say, here's what they offered. I want you to match it, and I'll stay here, And then I'm gonna try to leverage that offer that I'm getting from them to get more money at the place that I'm comfortable and I've already started building.
The thing is, though, is if he goes 7-5 again this year, now I don't know what he's going to finish. If he goes 7-5 this year, his seat's going to be on fire. The expectation at Nebraska is just as high as the expectation at Penn State.
Else.
It's high.
So,
go ahead.
So to answer your question, for me, I would take that. I would take those jobs, but it doesn't make sense to take those jobs now because with the NIL, you have more of a chance to level the playing field without those expectations. I would take it because, I mean, the challenge of turning around to Florida, the challenge is great.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you were saying, it will be tough to do it because I'm gonna be at a school where I'm gonna get 15, maybe 15. I'm not gonna get 20 million. I might get 10 million, and I can turn around Indiana and give them and put ourselves in a situation where we're always talking, where they're always talking about, well, wow, he turned around this, he turned around that. But I would take that. I would take it because I'm like, for me, if I can go to Florida, Florida State, Nebraska, or Michigan, and turn that around, you're solidified.
You're legendary forever.
You're legendary.
Or you can stay at Indiana and make a run and be legendary,
But-
i.e. Don Nehlen.
But hang on though. Indiana paid Kirk Signetti
Oh, he's got
$11.5 million a
a
year.
year.
And let me go ahead and say this:
It's not what they paid him initially,
but I'm taking that job every single time because when I was younger, if I'd have known what it turned into be, my dream would have been to be a failed college football coach. If they're going, if I walk into work on Monday and they're like, "Hey, we're going to give you $50 million and not come back to work," I'm going to be thrilled.
well, not all coaches think like you.
But at the same time,
Nobody's trying to lose.
Most coaches are very competitive. And
For
they
sure.
want.
But still,
to what he's saying, with what he just said
I
right
know
there
what-
about
yeah.
coaches being competitive, James Franklin, in his mind, he's looking at that as, damn, I'm so bad they paid me $50 million not to come back.
I don't think he looks at it that way.
That has to crush your ego if you're one of those guys.
Did you see him on sport or no game day?
I did, but you think he's going to outwardly portray that? I think when he sits alone in his house or he sits with
failed.
his family, he now feels like a failure. If you're competing in
Hey,
this
you call me a
day
failure.
to day, it's the mind is wired different for those guys. If you're paying me $50 million to walk away, and I saw myself coming into the year as one of the best coaches in college football,
You saying
and you just paid me $50 to walk away, to stay away from your program.
million.
In my mind, I now have to wonder, what did I do wrong?
50.
How did I become this failure? I'm sure, and that money's great and everything, but I think in the back of those guys' mind, it weighs on them that they were paid that much to walk away.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from Keilen Dykes. We're still going to talk about things around the Big 12, also around the country. And when Keilen comes on, we're going to be discussing the 2005 Big East Championship along with the Sugar Bowl win. We'll do that after this.
Visit our new website at touchdowncity.com.
As the game gets faster, stronger, more dynamic, your equipment has to keep up. Introducing the Riddell Axiom, the next evolution in football protection, designed to match the speed and strength of today's athlete. Contact West Virginia Riddell representative Casey Turley at 304-552-5960. 304-552-5960. Gear up, play smart, stay protected.
This is Aaron Beasley, former Mountaineer, and you're listening to the Touchdown City Show.
Welcome back to the Touchdown City Show, and as promised, joining us on the phone as we continue to celebrate the 2005 Sugar Bowl team, Big East champions, as we celebrate 20 years since that great season in Mountaineer history. Join us on the phone, Mr. Keilen Dykes. How you doing, Keilen?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. It's about time you get some defensive players on here.
Well, you know, it's been a lot of fun just kind of getting in touch with guys, and we text a little bit back and forth, and that's what I wanted to have you on for and talk about is the defense. So let's just jump right into it because we got about 12 minutes here on the radio. The 05 defense true or false, is one of the most slept on defenses in WVU history.
True. And to this day, all the great players that played on that defense in 06 and 07, now one of us is in the Hall of Fame, West Virginia Hall of Fame, which I think is a tragedy. Not a coach, not a player, nothing.
Well, when you look at it, you're talking about a team that was number one in scoring defense in the Big East, number one in rushing defense in the Big East, number one in total defense in the Big East, and eighth overall in the nation. So we were talking about it before we went on the air. Everyone likes to talk about number 5 and number 10 and 35 and the excitement of that offense, which is all it's well deserved. But that defense was loaded, and you guys led the way, especially early in the season, because you're talking about only giving up 7 to Syracuse, 7 to Wofford, 19 to Maryland, 15 to ECU, which you guys kept, basically won that game. It was 2015 was the final. People probably forget. And then, can you just talk a little bit about the guys in that defense? I mean, you were up front, Craig Wilson up front, the Big Cat, Ernest Hunter up front. Talk about that defense and what made that 3-3-5 special for you guys.
Well, we knew going into the year we would have to be special. We lost a lot of firepower. You lost Chris Henry, you lose KJ, you lose Rashid. So it was going to be a lot of transitioning on the offense. So us going into the year, I believe we all had the mindset, hey, we might have to carry this thing until, the offense get it rolling. And so, just going into the year, I think, the guys, we were together more. We were more, what's the word I'm looking for? More team. I think the year before there was a lot of guys that, had their own agenda. But this year coming in, we was all in. We knew what we had to do. We knew the offense was going to be coming out the gates. I wouldn't say slow, but you just didn't know. So we knew we had to hold it down. And, thank God we was able to do that, and, just the first game, for example, hell, if Eric Wicks doesn't get us a touchdown, hell, we might not even be going to the Sugar Bowl. So we knew as a defense we would have to score some points, make some plays, and get our offense in the best position so they can, hopefully get an easy touchdown or an easy 3 points.
If I remember correctly, I believe you scored a touchdown against Syracuse.
Oh, that was my 07 year. That was the Fiesta Bowl.
Oh, that was the Fiesta Bowl year. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's right. Eric Wicks had the touchdown, and then I think maybe Colson had one later in the game.
No, they didn't even score that game. We had a couple field goals, and Ernest Hunter got the sack for the
safety. Man, you got a really good memory.
So we put up 8 points. That was enough. We outscored them on defense, so that was enough to win the game, truthfully.
But it was important. I mean, when you look back at it now, that is what kept this team on track to lead to the Big East championship and lead to the Sugar Bowl. Was the defense really held their own until the offense kind of came of age against Louisville.
Oh yeah, and Adam Benaric went out, and I still remember that to this day. When Adam Benaric went down, I think we were down like 24-7. Johnny Dingle comes to me to the sideline, and now Johnny is one of those guys. He'll talk real loud, then he'll whisper. So he'll be like, "Big man, hey, that white one bring his back once." And I remember I was sitting there like, all right, man. I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about like, damn, what are we going to do to get in the game? And, as they say, the rest is history. Hey, he comes out there. Steve gets going. Pat gets going. And, the offense really carried us that game, I would say. And, they came out, had a breakout party, and then off they went. But like you said before that, watching, if you go back and watch, it was a struggle. And you also got to think, not only was the skill positions, the offensive line, I remember like every week they was switching up the offensive line. You got to remember, Dan Moses, I believe, started at guard. Then he moved to center during the Maryland game. He had a couple bad snaps. Like, it was a rotation of offensive linemen also that they had to get settled too. And once they got that settled and the back settled, then yeah, it was probably the best offense West Virginia had up to that point.
What did the comeback against Louisville do for this team moving forward, as far as confidence and just in the locker room? And what did it say for this football team?
I think it gave us a lot of confidence. I think it definitely gave the offense confidence because they had a lot of good players on there. They had some good NFL players over there on Louisville defense. And for us to be able to come back, stick together, down 24-7, be able to make some key stops, get a special teams, onside kick, all that, and just believing in what we were doing, believing what we're getting coached. I believe all that, came together and you win the game, and now it's all of a sudden like, we can really go out here and finish out this Big East, go undefeated, and maybe get a chance at a BCS game. Because you got to think now, because Louisville was the darling coming in. Everybody was talking about they had the best team, this and that, and which they did have a really good team. But, that night it was just, as they say, it's something special at nighttime in Morgantown.
Then, of course, you guys go on to close it out. You knock off Cincinnati, shut out Cincinnati, beat Pittsburgh, Connecticut. So you and even go down to South Florida for a rescheduled game and take care of business down there. So you're Big East champions, and you're headed to Atlanta. When you guys saw the matchup against Georgia, you have to go to Atlanta to play them in their backyard because of Katrina. What was the mindset of that football team? I kind of always look back at it. I said, offensively, I think they were so young they didn't know what they were kind of walking into. But I would have to think. It would seem to think that senior-led defense knew that what they were up against when it came to the Bulldogs.
Listen, I knew. I tell this story all the time. I knew we was going to win the game when we were staying in the hotel. But for some reason, it was getting closer to the game time, so all the Georgia fans were suddenly in the hotel with us. So me and Craig Wilson, we're on the elevator, get done with practice, and these two Georgia fans come on. And they, I don't know what made them say it, but they looked back and they said, you guys going to beat Georgia? And they started doing their little laugh. And with a stone cold face, my man Craig Wilson said, we're going to beat the F out of Georgia. I mean, you talking about, I ain't never seen two people straighten up, get off the elevator so fast in my life. I don't even think they got off on the right floor. They stopped the elevator so fast. And that right there, I don't know what it was or what, it just clicked in my mind. I was like, man, he is going to beat the hell out of Georgia. And, even when you came out on the field, you could tell when I looked down and saw Georgia run, it looked like they didn't want to be there or like this is going to be easy work for them. I think they was so surprised at the speed we brought, the power we brought, and just, I give them credit. They woke up. They just didn't wake up soon enough. But when they woke up, he was already up. But, I mean, I don't think they was ready, really prepared for what we was bringing to them that game.
Obviously, the offense did their thing against Georgia, but I really look back at that game, and I think the defense set the tone, especially early. I know later in the game they got it going, but you guys caused a turnover. You guys kept getting the football back for the offense.
Rest in peace to my man, Kevin Boo McClee. He was hitting everybody, and he was everywhere. I mean, if there was one guy on that defense that you would want to take with you to anything, it would be Kevin McClee. Because, I mean, he was coming, head hunting, hitting. Kevin McClee didn't care about his body. He was going to try to rock it. And, that's what he was doing. He had a hell of a game. Larillo had a hell of a game. And, Wicks and them guys, they was able to, get back there and, like I said, really confuse them. And like I said, I don't think, watching film, you watching film and they probably was looking like, who they playing? Hey, I'm a realist. I know they was thinking, they in the Big East, who they playing, this and that. Until I think they saw it up close and how fast we were moving that it was a shock to them. And we was able to give it to them and get out to that big lead.
It's hard to believe it's been 20 years since you guys went down to Atlanta to knock off Georgia. When you think back, and we got about a minute here, but when you think back to that season, that game, you just mentioned Boo McLeay, you start talking about characters and different guys. What are some things that stand out to you when you think back on that season and that win?
I think back to how they Coach Rod get all these people together to get there. I mean, we had some characters, man, and for him to get the team and everybody going in one direction, I think that's on his part was special, and all the coaches, to get everybody going for the same goal, winning the Big East and winning the BCS title. And beating, the SEC champs at that. It's supposed to be the best conference in the country. And they're able to do that down in Atlanta. I think, just thinking back on it, the guys that we had, and to be able to do that is something really special. Because, I'll tell you this. If you ever been in our locker room or in our film room, I mean, I would say it's like Def Comedy Jam. And I don't know how we got it together to put what we did out there on that field. So the credit to the coaches for that.
Well, Keilen, thanks so much for taking the opportunity to talk to us here on the Touchdown City show. And we're going to head into the break, and the guys will come back in the studio, and we'll be back after this.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, perfect. All right, we'll
The text line is open. Send your questions or comments to 304-729-4465.
Tony the Tailor is well known for having the best quality suits and jackets available anywhere. But our strength is actually our sophisticated footwear and casual wear. From Brax pants to LBM soft jackets and Hagen shirts, Johnny O sportswear, DiBianco, Allen Edmonds, and Johnston & Murphy shoes, plus much more. We have what you need for work or at play. Tony the Tailor, downtown Charleston, or online at bestmastertailor.com.
Hey Mountaineers, Alumni Hall is your ultimate West Virginia Mountaineers shopping destination. Upgrade your tailgate gear, shop officially licensed clothing for the family, or load up on hats, gifts, and accessories. Keep track of your purchases with our Hall Pass Rewards, where you get $10 in rewards for every $150 spent. And WVU students, faculty, and all military receive 10% off when shopping in-store. Shop at Alumni Hall in Morgantown or Charleston, or online at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Mountaineer fans shop.
Be sure to stick around and listen for the Alumni Hall Trivia Question of the Week. For all of your Mountaineers gear, visit alumnihall.com.
Welcome back to the Touchdown City Show, presented by the Masters Law Firm, West Virginia's injury lawyers, and we appreciate Keilen Dykes joining us as we continue to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 05 Big East Championship and upset victory over Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. And that group will be returning to Morgantown as Steve Slayton is inducted to the College Football Hall. Well, he'll be getting his plaque for the College Football Hall of Fame the weekend of Colorado. And they'll also be acknowledging that football team. But now it's time for the Alumni Hall Trivia Question of the Week. The phone number 304-729-4465. Again, 304-729-4465. The question: West Virginia played TCU in the Blue Bonnet Bowl, and the Mountaineers rolled up 500 yards of offense, won 31-14. How many points did WVU score in the second half to bring home the victory? Again, the number, 304-729-4465. We need to know how many points West Virginia scored in the second half of the 84 Blue Bonnet Bowl. All right, so we had a long, spirited discussion about money and where this whole thing with college football is going. And I already know where this is going with you tightwads. But should fans give outside of buying tickets and spending money at the concession stands. Should fans give?
Absolutely. I 100% think they should. And if they do, and if we do, I wouldn't say. I need access. If I'm going to give you some extra money, just like any other booster, you know what I mean? I need a 100th of a 10th of a percent of a say in firing the coach, firing the quarterback, firing the AD. Because if I'm giving you my money, I need some say in it. So,
well, you do have a vote.
Yeah,
you can stop giving your money.
Well, yeah, but if I'm giving you my money, I want to vote. So just like Pat McAfee, Portnoy, whatever his name is, Portnoy. When they give,
if you give $20 a month,
no, you know what I'm saying. That's why I said, a tenth of a hundredth tenths of a say. But if you're giving money, you have access to say, look, I need this guy gone. Like, so yeah, should we give money? Absolutely. I think we all should, because it is on us to make our team better. It's not just because in today's game. Yeah, in today's game, it's not the same. So yes, we have to give money. But at the same time, if I'm gonna give you some money, I'm gonna need you to give me mine.
I'm gonna at least need access to the swag in the basement.
This is where I was talking about the fan expectations. You're calling fans and asking them, they're paying for season tickets, they're paying for travel to get to the game, they're buying fan gear, they're donating money, they're doing all this, and then you're calling their expectations unreasonable. No, my expectation would not be unreasonable. If I were donating hundreds of thousands of dollars to WVU and I see that product on the field, you better believe I'm going to have some questions.
I know some people that donate $100,000 a year, and I don't see them on Twitter ever.
I didn't say on Twitter. I didn't say on Twitter, but I would have.
They're not going to be on Twitter.
I think we're talking about two different types of people here.
Yeah,
but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm talking about like a normal fan, like $20 a month. Sure, yeah, like whatever, $20 a month. Okay, but the thing is then if you go out there and you go 4-8, and you say, okay, well, we're going to raise ticket prices $20 more next year. Then what? We're going to raise the price of a beer another $1. And you keep raising prices. Your fans are going to step back and they're going to say, well, wait a minute. And I know, $20 a month is very minimal to some people, and that's fine. But like you say, it's $20, but then you're raising my prices. You're raising this. You're raising that. What are you doing with all this money? Why is the product on the field?
All this money.
Well, let me stop you there, because it's not just about the product on the field. It's not just about football.
Okay. In all sports, it's all sports. It's all sports.
Just always remember that.
But most people are going to say, well, okay, football. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever. What's wrong with our athletic department that we can't get this right in football, in baseball, in basketball, or whatever sport?
Hold on. Going back to that. It's just like church. If you give your tithes, you can say, I want my money to go to this.
Mm-hmm. Some people do.
I want my money to go to football.
Yeah, you can make academic only.
Now you can say, hey, what the product on the field is trash.
And that's the thing you're asking your average, like an average fan. You're sending these emails or whatever way they're doing it, and then you're telling them that their expectations are unrealistic. That's where I have the issue, because like I said, they've turned it into pro football.
I only asked this because I just got my email. They're trying to transfer me over from the Country Roads Trust to the new, what do they get? Blue and Gold Enterprises or something like that. So it literally just got the email back from the guy up there. But so I wanted to pose a question. Is it enough? Should fans give?
I don't think you can let fans have a place at the table, though.
You can't.
Because here's the thing: if I'm giving you millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, yeah, sure, call me and ask me whatever, but you can't make decisions based on what your fan base thinks. If you start letting every fan have a place at the table, the place is going to turn into a nut house, because every fan feels a different way, and you're not going to appease everybody. If I'm donating money or if I'm donating my time to you, when I go up, I buy my season tickets. When I go up, I'm paying $10 a beer. If I'm buying 8 beers, you're getting $80 weekly from me, right? So I'm doing my part with what I'm spending, but you can't give me a place at the table. That's wild. You can't do that. I don't care unless you're giving millions or hundreds of thousands. What I think is not important to you.
Well, but back to my original point, you do have a vote. You can cancel your season tickets.
But and that's fine. You can do that. And when that starts happening, that's when you know you got to make a change.
That's the voice.
But the way I thought of it was like you're asking if I think I should be allowed to like have access.
No, that's not what I asked. I asked.
said that.
He said that.
Yeah.
I just asked, should fans give outside of buying tickets and going to the concession stands? Should they give? You know, there's levels. I think there's even like a $20 a month level, and it goes up from there. So, and I only ask this question because, you know, I give a little bit of my. I got a 15-year-old, so not getting too much out of me, but I do give, and I bought I actually bought 2 extra season tickets this year, and then I also do the stuff with the varsity club too. But you know, and I get it, and people at home are like, well, it's a tough economy. I do get it, but the thing about it is, I know a lot of people that scream that, the economy and all that, but then yet we'll go out and spend $85 and drink.
But see, this is where it all comes back to me, where the unrealistic expectations and things like that come in. You're paying a football coach $7-8 now, not WU. Some of these teams are paying $7, $8, $9, $10 million a year, and then you're asking fans to donate money while that dude's making $10 million. You're asking an average fan to donate money. That's why the expectations are so high. That's why there's so much unrealistic stuff that's being said that goes on. But then you see that, and as a normal fan, you say, well, Billy Napier's 22 and 21 at Florida. That's not good enough. He's making $10 million a year. Firing. And that's where it's coming from.
Totally understand.
It's a completely different era.
It is. I mean, and that's where it's stemming from. It's stemming from the money. If it was no money involved, and I say no money, the kids aren't getting paid, the coaches aren't getting 10, 15 million. Nobody's really there really isn't that. But now everybody's getting paid, and they're like, as a fan, I'm like, I'm giving you my money. I gotta have a say. If I'm gonna give you some money, I'm like, you gotta make me feel good. You gotta make me feel good.
30 years ago, it feels like, and I may be off base here, but it's been a long time. It felt like you would never see a coach fired in season 30 years ago. We've had how many? We've had 10 or so already this year, around 10.
We're living in wild times.
That's what we've had 10 already, around 10 fired this year mid-season. You used to never see that back in the day.
Think about this too. Coach Keilen made $250,000 in 2000.
That's just 25 years ago. It's not like, it's a long time.
Rich was West Virginia's first $1 million coach.
It's crazy.
And that was after
Sugar Bowl.
No. It was before that, I believe.
It was probably after 2003.
I think it was after the first Big East championship. I think he made $1 million. They bumped him up because he was making like $750,000. He made $500,000 more than Coach Keilen did coming in the door. But it was just a different time.
It's what I mean. Like the era, it's so different now, and that's what all this money has just exploded into it, and they turned it into the NFL. I mean, that's what it really is.
Well, before you guys go, I need you guys to pull out your wallets, and we're going to send some money up to WVU before we all leave here today. You just Venmo me the money, and I'll send the check.
Can $20 get an entire new roster?
we can get it for $750.
Think about how crazy it's got. There are some schools that pay once you're committed. They will start making payments to guys to stay committed. They will pay guys to take visits. I mean, this money thing is just out of control.
I think the money is important for recruiting, but the thing to me where it would be more important, and this is just my 2 cents on it, is roster retaining. Mm-hmm. Like to retain the guys that you already have that you really want to keep. That's more important to me than the new players.
All right, scores around the Big 12 over the weekend. The Holy War. Derek and I sat and watched it last night. BYU over Utah, 24-21. Great rivalry game, obviously. Crazy to sit back and watch BYU run for 200 yards against a Utah team that I thought was defensively pretty stout. But I pointed this out. Critical. They got down in 4th and 1, and what did I scream?
Kick the field goal.
Kick the field goal. In the whole game, I was watching that 3-point differential just sit.
He left the points on the field.
Left them on the field.
See it all the time now.
And the final score, 24-21.
BYU's pretty good.
I think they're.
I think BYU. I mean, they got a rough rough couple games coming up. But I think BYU's pretty solid. They could lose this coming weekend. I think they're at Iowa State.
Houston over Arizona, 31-28. Cincinnati over Oklahoma State, 49-17. Thank God for Oklahoma State. That keeps us out of the basement.
Right. They need to get Oklahoma State, West Virginia, and Boston College in a round robin and see who's the worst.
Oh, boy. TCU over Baylor in a close one, 42-36. Arizona State over Texas Tech. They
lost their quarterback, though.
He was hurt, but hey, what do you always say?
Yeah,
next man up.
You're right.
That backup's getting paid good money too. Backup's getting paid good money.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a so. I'm still on that bandwagon. I mean, it might knock them out, but Texas Tech is good
I'm not off that bandwagon. I think Texas Tech's going to be just fine.
What's the quarterback's name from Arizona State?
Sam Leavitt.
Sam Leavitt. Here it is. Sorry, I was trying to go down my notes here. He ended up 28 got that wrong. Completed 28 passes, 319 yards. They had 2 wide receivers with 100 yards plus. Jordan Tyson and Jaron Hamilton both had over 100 yards receiving. Can Arizona State get back to Dallas? They're now 3-1 in the Big 12. They still here's who they still play. They still play Houston, Iowa State, West Virginia, Colorado, and Arizona.
They definitely beaten us.
There ain't anybody. Now the thing is who beat them? Utah beat them. Utah has 2 conference losses now. They would have to have a little bit. I think they can get there. They're going to win every game left. That's sounding right off the top of my head.
Not Iowa State. I don't think they're going to beat Iowa State.
Are they in Iowa State?
I didn't note that.
If it's in Iowa State, that could be tough because it could be cold. They're not going to be a great cold weather team now. They'll win most of those, though.
Yeah.
I think they can get back there. I don't know if they can win it. They're not going to beat Texas Tech a second time if Baron Morton plays.
Kenny Dillingham, he's 35 years old.
Dude's doing an amazing job.
And I love his attitude, like the things he says in the press when they were losing early. He was basically just pissed off. And even after losing last week, he basically came out and, I don't want to use the word punish, but they had really hard practices this week. He's got Arizona State rolling. So my question is, are any of these bigger schools going to come after him?
I fully expect he gets a call from Penn State. Penn State's got to call him. They got to call anybody.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going because that's his home. Like that, if he can see what Rich Rod did and know that he's rolling right now.
He's so young too.
I wouldn't go. He's building what he want. Like that's what bothered me. Like I would leave because of, hey, I get an opportunity. But now that I think about it, I'm like, man, if Rich Rod could come back and do it again, he wouldn't go. And I think that's where he's at. I mean, it depends on what he's trying to do. It depends on what he's trying to do. But I think everybody's going to call him because he's in a position to be called.
Well, I think with hindsight, with what you're talking about with Rich, it's like everybody says you don't know you're in the good old days until you're past them, right?
Right.
So I think with him at the time that he's offered the Michigan job, that's the next step, and he had the other issues going on. So I think if he could do it all over again, he would. As far as the Arizona State guy, I think he'll entertain those calls. I don't know that he'll leave, but you got to take the call when somebody's calling you, right? You take the call and see.
Never not listen to job offers.
Exactly. You always have to listen, and then you try to parlay that listening session into, here's what they're offering. What are you going to do for me?
Mm-hmm. Other scores around the country: Georgia over Ole Miss, 43-35. Ole Miss gave up 17 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, 17.
I know. I bet them.
The crazy thing was they hadn't punted all game long, and then they went like 3 or 4 possessions in a row, went 3 and out, and Georgia took advantage. That's a pretty good football game, really. That's 2 pretty good football teams.
Probably going to see them again in December.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll see.
Ole Miss?
Ole Miss, yeah.
They might be out.
No. Oh, you mean in the playoff? I thought you meant the SEC championship. No, I think Ole Miss will make the playoff. I do.
I should have looked up the rest of their schedule.
I think their only tough game left is Oklahoma, and it's at home.
Hey, don't look now, but Georgia Tech is 6-0 with a win over Duke, 27-18. Georgia Tech, you buying or selling them right now?
Hey, I've been on Georgia Tech since like week 1. I looked at their schedule, and I said they're going to go 11-1. That's what I thought they would go, and they're on pace for their 11-1. I said they'd lose to Georgia to end the season. I like Georgia Tech. They're very well coached. Their quarterback's tough as nails. They play. It feels like they just know what to do. They know how to do it. They know what they're doing. They're not the most talented team. They're not the best players, but they're going to win, and I think they're going to continue to win, and I think they're going to be in the ACC championship game and have a shot at the playoffs.
That's on Joe Hamilton's.
That's not Joe Hamilton.
not
Georgia Tech.
Hey, Joe Hamilton could play, though.
Oh,
Joe
yeah, he
Hamilton
was
was
a beast.
money.
Let's see. Where were some other scores? Alabama over Tennessee, 37-20. A good old-fashioned SEC line, a good old-fashioned SEC matchup. They're down in Tuscaloosa. I still haven't heard back from my nephew to see if he went to the game to see how that played out. But what a hell of an ending in the first half with the return on the
100-yard pick six.
mean,
that was crazy.
That'll beat you every night.
Yeah, that swung that game in a total. Did you guys see the shot of the coaches in the box?
No.
Oh, they all look like memes with their mouths wide
Just
open.
wide open.
Yeah, it was wild. SMU over Clemson, 35-24. Is Dabo in trouble?
Dabo is dead. If they don't get rid of Dabo, especially with the way he is coaching, I'm not going NIL. If they don't get rid of Dabo, they're doing themselves a disservice.
And see, this is where we were talking. We had the conversation about the expectation. He's won 2 national championships. Those 2 national championships 7-8 years ago. I don't care what he's done. He's making a ton of money to coach Clemson. Clemson was preseason top 5. He's on the hot seat, in my opinion. He may not be back, but he's on the hot seat.
What's
whether
Janet
they like
Jackson
it or not.
say?
What have you done for me
lately? Shout out to our boy Tony Gibson and Marshall with a win over Texas State.
Game-winning
Double overtime,
drive.
40-37. Marshall's now 3-3. They should be 4-2, maybe even 5-1, but we'll give them 4-2. Gibby getting it done down in Huntington. What do you think?
I had somebody text me yesterday. We hired the wrong guy.
Yeah, well, you're always going to get that with those guys, and especially in this state. But Gibby, shout out to you, bro. You're doing it in a big way, and I'm super excited that he's down there winning. And I seen him at the Greenbrier earlier this year, and he's like, "Man, tell your boy to put it on the schedule." I'm like, "Bro,
Not this year. Not this year. We ain't playing that this year."
Yeah, congratulations, Gibby. I thought Coach Smith was going to make a big difference on them, and I think once they're getting it going, I mean, they're putting up points now, where earlier in the season they were struggling a little bit. But shout out to Gibby and the Thundering
just
Herd.
hurts my heart just to why can't we win, man? I'm so disappointed in Rich right now.
I'll say this. I think you give him time.
Who?
Rich. I mean, he's very disappointed in him, but I think that he didn't have the time needed to go out and hit the portal the way he could and wanted to.
I'm giving him excuses.
It's not an excuse. I think it's a fact that if you have to change your entire offensive line after the spring game and you're getting the portal late, you're getting the A to Z outlet leftovers, and you're not going to get what you want. Give him a minute.
If I'm a new coach, I'm bringing my just like what is his name? The Marshall coach,
Gibson.
Huff. No.
Oh, Huff took his whole team.
Huff took his whole team. So if he loses, it's on him because he's like, I got my whole team that I won with last year.
But they were good.
But the problem with bringing your whole team, and I'm not knocking. It's not a knock on Jacksonville State. I don't think Jacksonville State could compete in the Big 12.
No,
that's a whole different
True.
level. But I mean,
but there's continuity.
But I don't think it could be worse.
He brought guys.
Yeah, he brought guys, but he didn't bring his offensive line. Like if I'm a coach, that my offensive defensive line, especially if I won. I'm bringing them because there's continuity.
Level.
Yeah, it is, but at the same time, they know what to do.
You talked about the key part, and I'm going to move on because we already talked about all this.
Yeah,
but the key part that you talked about is still at Jacksonville State.
Yeah, the coach. Yeah, you're right. God bless you.
I'll try to cut that out. All right. All right. So West Virginia, TCU, and Morgantown this weekend. It's homecoming weekend. All the fraternities and sororities. They'll be doing the step shows, and everybody will be partying and turning up this weekend. And I will be trying to figure out a way not to go because it's a 6:00 kick, and I can't stay up that late to drive back. But TCU's 5-2, 2-2 in Big 12 play right now. Quarterback Josh Hoover, he threw for 3,900 yards last year. 27 touchdowns. This year he's already thrown for 21 touchdowns, 2,100 yards. if they don't get this defensive backfield cleaned up, you thought they were wide open yesterday.
The difference with them and who we played, I mean, Central Florida looked fast.
Dude.
TCU is fast, like everywhere. If we do not get that, it is going to be a track meet for every time they get the ball. They're going to be up and down the field, scoring in 2 and 3 plays, and it is.
It's homecoming.
It's home. I mean, you don't.
It's also a coal rush, but let's be honest. The black's going to be double use there. You're going to a funeral on Saturday. We're going to get smoked out.
It's going to be ugly. Stay in the parking lot, have fun, grill some food, enjoy the weather or whatever it be. Do whatever you got to do, because I just, this is going to be ugly. They throw the ball, and West Virginia just has been so abysmal the last 4 games against the pass. I see no shot here.
I'm making arrangements possibly to go to Clemson next Saturday to watch Alabama and Clemson in baseball. That's how much I do not want to go to Morgantown.
I hope you get to go, because that'll be good, because Clemson's really good in baseball. That'll be a good time.
So we're all in agreement here that West Virginia's probably going to take one on the chin.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
No, we're not in agreement. And let me explain to you why.
Here we go.
Let me explain to you why, guys.
Please do.
Because as much as I hate Rich Rod right now, it is homecoming. It is when you go to a West Virginia homecoming, you get the same feel that you would get if you're playing Pitt. Because you got everybody that comes back from all the eras, and you get everybody on the sideline. You get that nostalgia.
You can have that on the sideline. What the hell are you going to get in the stands? It's a question you need to be asking.
But the reason why I say that is you're getting you guys are laughing. You
can have the sideline, but what are you going to have in the stands is the problem.
Hey, people, and I'm trying to tell you what the people in the stands are going to understand what we are going to produce. We have not been very good in the last couple of days.
You think?
The last couple of weeks, I'm sorry. And yeah, I don't think I know. I watched it just like you did. But stop looking at me like that.
I'm just listening.
No, this is wild.
But and this is why I say but, because nobody remembers anything before the but. All of that didn't matter. But this week we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity, guys. Just like every other team in the NCAA has an opportunity to go out there and put their best foot forward. And I hate Rich Rod. I hate him. This is how I felt about him in 01 when we weren't playing well. But we won. You'll have that one game where you do something special. And we put 80 points on Rutgers. We're going to pull this win out at home in the cold rush, wearing black jerseys with your black shoes, your black gloves, the lights flashing. It is going to be a great game, and it's going to be a little bit chilly, so that's going to be on our side as well.
Keep going.
And understand, guys, this is the opportunity that we have to go out and do something special, to put ourselves back in a position to play well. And Mountaineers, if you feel me, if you understand what is at stake, go and do something great. We're going to win this game, guys. I know you guys are like, there's no way. Just like we beat Texas Tech a couple years ago when we hurt their quarterback, anything's possible.
Can we get you to go up and talk to the team?
Wait a minute.
We need to get you.
It's an opportunity, guys, that we have, and I believe we're going to win.
Okay. Are you done, Peter Pan?
I had to give you the music, bro.
I mean, are you
Big Cook, man?
Are you done? Because I'm gonna bring this back to reality. What's gonna happen is 6 o'clock is the worst kickoff time you could have set for this game.
Absolutely not.
Wrong. Because after what just happened at Central Florida, how many people want to drive all the way up there and spend their entire day off Saturday to watch what's going to happen on that field? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'll be there.
What are you talking about?
I'm a nut job. I have issues. This is insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I'm going in expecting to get blown up. If we win, that'd be great. But all that you just said right there, that's wild. I don't know what toilet bowl cleaner you were sniffing before you showed up to think that that's going to happen. That's wild. That's a great outlook. I hope that dreams come true. But that sideline can be packed. I'm really worried about what you're going to see in the stands up there.
Well, if they're listening, they're gonna, the people that come to the game, the people that the true Mountaineer fans, the ones that come, they will see a West Virginia team show up.
They're going to see a 50 burgers. What they're going to see.
Well, hey, listen, I drove up for the Utah game in the rain.
Yeah, it was ugly.
You know, and here's the deal: I'm not bailing out on them. I just may have other things to go do on Saturday. The only issue for me, honestly, is the start time. I just don't want to drive back.
It's a wild start time. Like that was when I saw that was a 6:00 game. I said that's a crazy start time for a team that's performing the way we're performing.
Well, it's on
Better for
ESPN
us.
Plus, but you know that's the thing that the fans complain so much about never getting night games.
Well, you got it now.
You got it now,
In
which
the black.
will keep me at home because you're talking about not getting home till 2:00 in the morning. I'm just
So
I'm
the
bad
other thing
about
I
that.
will tell you guys is
and I can't see at night.
Every time the Coburn family has went to a WVU game, we have won.
Well, you need to pack them all 12 of you guys need to get it together.
Guys, I'm telling you, this is an opportunity for us. And I know you guys don't believe that we're going to win.
I love the speech. You got me a little hyped. You had me a little hyped up, but then I'm trying to live more in reality as opposed to what I've been living. Because, you know, my whole sports fandom has been just a dysfunctional nightmare of dreams. You know, Giants fan, Knicks fan, Yankees fan, Mountaineer fan. It's been a rough stretch for me for about 10 years. So I've decided to start living more in reality, and I just don't think there's any way we beat this TCU team. I almost want to see Cam Vaughn play quarterback Saturday. That's what I'm going up with hopes of.
Well, that's wild, too. Just
like
as
to
wild
see-
as what he said, that's
One
wild.
thing I would like to see is I'd like to see him get Gallagher the ball more somehow.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're trying.
They hand it off to him if you have to.
Yeah,
hand it
they're
off to
trying.
him.
All right, so 3 nays, 1 yay. West Virginia TCU homecoming. Listen, fans, go. I mean, go. If you can see at night, if I could see at night, I would drive. I actually tried to get my neighbor to drive up and back because he can see. But I'm probably going to skip it unless I can find a cheap hotel room somewhere. But you know, it is what it is. But thank you guys so much for checking out the show this week. We hope you guys enjoyed it. I know there's not a lot of Mountaineer stuff to talk about, but that's why we kind of went off and talked about the coaching stuff and the fandom and try to give you guys a little bit of something different other than just browbeating this football team. So don't forget, make sure you hit subscribe. Also, if you don't mind, leave us a review. And don't forget, hit touchdowncity.com for all your radio affiliates. For the guys, I'm Anthony Lewis. We'll see you next week.